Hi class, I'm so excited to be with you all today. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Miss Bruno, and just so we can get to know each other a little bit better, I thought I'd share a little bit about myself. I was not a teacher before I came here. I actually taught adults their finances, but I decided that I liked kids a little bit better, so I'm here to teach you guys instead. Um, and I have a 16-month-old daughter. Her name is Leilani. This is actually her reading corner, so we're taking up some of her space today. Those are some pictures of her. I would have loved to have her with us. I'm sure you guys would have had fun together, but she's too rambunctious. So it's just going to be us today. Um, and for our class, we're going to be reading The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. And this is one of my favorite books from when I was your age. And it's also a book that my daughter, right now, she loves to read. So I'm hoping you guys like it too if you haven't read it already. But in order for me to get to know you a little bit, I was hoping you wouldn't mind running to your room or your living room, wherever you keep your favorite books, and go and grab your favorite book and bring it back, hold it up, and post why that's your favorite book in the chat so that everybody can see. And so go ahead, grab your book, and come. Thank you guys so much for sharing your favorite books. Those books are awesome. And based on your comments, they sound really amazing. So I'm going to make sure that I go out and get those books and read them with Leilani. Hopefully she likes them as much as you guys do. Or maybe I have to wait till she's a little bit older because you guys are much older. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the front cover of the book. Now, if you have read this book already, try not to comment because you're going to give it away. But if you haven't read the book yet, if you wouldn't mind, I'd just like you to comment on the side what you think this book is going to be about just from looking at the front cover, just by looking at the illustration on the front. What do you think this book is going to be about? Okay, I see some of you guys here. I'll leave it up for you. I see some of you guys writing A Day in the Life of a Caterpillar. Okay, yep, some of that's in here. Maybe how it turns into a butterfly. Yep. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so now while I'm reading, I also want you to be very intentional about listening for some key words. Okay, so one of the key words you're going to listen for is butterfly. Another word you're going to listen for is chrysalis. And you may not hear chrysalis, but another word for chrysalis is cocoon. So whether you hear chrysalis or cocoon, pay very close attention. Also, we're going to listen for the word egg, and we're going to listen for caterpillar. Okay, this is all about how a caterpillar turns into a beautiful butterfly. So it might start off as an egg, be born into a caterpillar, and then go into a cocoon or chrysalis and become a butterfly. So let's go right ahead and let's start reading. Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. Egg? One of our words. So what do you guys think egg means by looking at this picture? Go ahead and comment on the side. On Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and pop! Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. Can you see? I heard caterpillar. That's another one of our words. So the caterpillar came out of the egg. Now, usually at this point, I will start to sing, "Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun," but we're not going to do that. But that's what my daughter would want. He started to look for some food. So the caterpillar must be hungry. On Monday, he ate through one apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums. He was still hungry. Oh my gosh. On Thursday, he ate through 4 whole strawberries, but he was still hungry. This is a hungry caterpillar. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. Oh, look at this. And then on Saturday, he ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, 1 slice of watermelon, and that night he had a really bad stomachache. Do you blame him? That is a lot of food. And then the next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf. And after that, he felt much better. How many of you feel better after you eat some salad? I know your favorite food is salad, right? But now he wasn't hungry anymore. And he wasn't a little caterpillar anymore. He was a big, fat caterpillar. Look at how big he got in just 1 week. My goodness. He built a tiny house called a cocoon. That's another one of our words, guys. Cocoon. And that's probably a new one. If you've never heard that before, you can look at the picture and you can try to see what a cocoon might be by looking at the picture. He stayed inside for more than 2 weeks, and then he nibbled a hole in the cocoon and pushed his way out. So let's stop there and just think about that. If you didn't know what the word cocoon meant before, and now you see this picture, and you hear this sentence, it says that a cocoon was a tiny house. So what do you think a cocoon is now that you've read this sentence and looked at this picture? Go ahead and make a comment inside how seeing the picture and hearing the sentence about what it is has helped you understand what a cocoon is. Go ahead in your own words and put what you think a cocoon is on the side. It says pushed his way out, and then he was a beautiful butterfly. Look at that. So after he pushed his way out of his cocoon, he became a beautiful butterfly. How exciting is that? Now let's take a look at some real pictures of some of these things that we talked about and see if you guys can identify each of them. So you saw the illustrations in the book. Let's see if by looking at some real pictures of the same thing, you'll be able to put them in the right place. I bet you will. Go ahead, and what you'll do is in your chat, put 1, 2, 3, 4, and just put the letter A, B, C, D next to each number. So for 1, if you think the egg is C, you put 1, C, and we'll see if you're able to match them. Great job, you guys. Most of you guys got it all right. It's not so difficult. Yes, so the egg is D. The caterpillar, number 2, is B. The chrysalis, number 3, is A. And the butterfly, number 4, is C. So good job to everybody who got them right. Now, I'm wondering, since we all know that a story has a beginning, a middle, and an end, if in just 3 or 4 words each, you guys could post in the chat what happened in the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the end of the story. So you can make it really short and sweet. Just give a recap of what happened in the beginning and the middle and the end. So go ahead, and once you guys are done, we'll review. Wow, you guys have really good recap. That's right. In the beginning, there was an egg, and out of the egg came the caterpillar. And the caterpillar came out really hungry, and he ate so many things for a whole week straight. He just kept eating everything until he was so full that he wrapped himself up in his little cocoon, and then out popped a butterfly. Very good job, you guys. One interesting fact and something that I actually learned was that caterpillars make sure to lay their eggs on a leaf that they like to eat because when they're born, they come out, they're hungry. So it's best to leave them on a leaf that they actually want to eat, right? So that was cool. Um, if you could, I'd like for you to describe some of the parts and features of the caterpillar. So remembering what they look like, you can see the one on the screen and also the one from the book. Go ahead and write down some of the features of the caterpillar. Great answers, you guys. Yes, awesome. I saw some of you guys wrote multiple legs, some of you guys put antenna, some of you guys put googly eyes. Yes, it's all true. Um, Now, what do you think is the biggest difference between the caterpillar and the butterfly? So in that transformation from caterpillar to butterfly, what is the biggest difference? Go ahead and write your comments. Great job. Yes. So some of the things that I saw is that the butterfly has big, beautiful wings. It really doesn't even look anything like the caterpillar anymore, and that's true. The caterpillar, he walked really slow, and he was on the ground, and the butterfly has wings and can now fly in the air. So true. So some of the mobility is different, the way that it looks is different, what they're capable of doing is different. Total evolution, right? So, um, what happens when the caterpillar went into the cocoon? Because it said that he was so full that he went ahead and built a little house and he stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a long time to be inside of a little tiny cramped space. So it says he was in there for more than 2 weeks. What happened when the caterpillar went into the cocoon? Go ahead and write your comments. We'll talk about it. Okay. Yes, he transformed. He completely changed. His whole entire being was just completely changed. And he had to be willing to go into that tiny little cramped house and stay in there for a long time so that he could have the freedom to fly, like some of you guys had mentioned before, so that he had wings now and he was mature and a different being, you know. Think about if you were a caterpillar and you knew that you could become a beautiful butterfly. Would you be willing to go into a cocoon and be uncomfortable for a little while? Why or why not? If you could become a beautiful butterfly, do you think it's worth going into a little cocoon? Would you want to do that? Go ahead and make your comments and we'll talk about that. Yeah, so some of you guys said yes and some of you guys said no. No matter what the reward is, some of you were not willing to be stuck in that little tiny cramped space for all that time. And that's understandable, right? Because that's uncomfortable. It's dark in there. It's tight space. You can't move. Maybe the caterpillar was sleeping. Who knows? Um, and if being a butterfly is not really desirable enough, maybe you don't want to go and be uncomfortable and stuck in a cocoon. But some of you guys said yes. Some of you said, yeah, I'm willing. If it meant I could have wings and I could fly and I could be changed and transformed and new, and I could step into the next phase of my being, then yeah, I would totally be willing to do it. Um, and I think that's a good mindset to have. So think to yourselves, you don't have to comment about this, but think to yourselves, maybe there's some situations that you're in right now and you're uncomfortable, or there's some things that your parents have you doing that you don't really like it very much. Um, for example, let's say maybe you're an only child and your mom is going to have another baby and that's not something that you're comfortable with. but who knows? Maybe after your baby brother or sister is born, you're going to blossom into a new big sister, big brother, and that's something that you could not have been without going through the process you're going through. So think about maybe some situations you guys are in that you're uncomfortable, you're not so happy about, but maybe if you stay in there with a positive mindset, you might come out with a new freedom or a new ability to do things you couldn't do before, right? So maybe it'll be worth being uncomfortable for a little bit. So now you guys are going to have the opportunity to illustrate for yourselves this whole process of the caterpillar turning into a butterfly. So you have your worksheets. Go ahead and get them out. So some of you guys have the worksheet where you're going to actually draw from scratch all of the different components of the butterfly's life cycle, and then some of you have where you're going to cut out pictures and paste them in. So this is really exciting. Now, if you have the worksheet where you're going to draw, there's some references on the bottom for you on how to actually illustrate each picture, but you can also use the real life illustrations that I have on the presentation. So you can take a look at those as well. It depends on your artistic ability and how far you want to go, but get as creative as possible, and really have fun with it. So if you look at box number 1 under eggs, a butterfly lays her eggs on a plant so that the caterpillars will have something to eat when they hatch. See? A mama's always thinking about their baby's belly. I'm sure your parents love to feed you too. And then box number 2, caterpillar. Job of a caterpillar is to eat, eat, eat. We saw that in the book, right? Caterpillars can grow up to 2 inches long in just a few weeks. I swear, animals grow so much faster than humans. And then number 3 is the chrysalis, which is the same as a cocoon. We learned that. And the caterpillar attaches itself upside down to a twig, transforms into a chrysalis or a cocoon to protect it while it turns into a butterfly. And then also, look at that. That's a little quick tip. The cocoon, which was an uncomfortable tight space, was actually protection. So maybe some of the things you're going through or some things that you're uncomfortable with is actually protecting you. You never know. And then number 4 is the butterfly. When the butterfly hatches from its chrysalis or cocoon, it becomes time to mate and find a place to lay eggs. So there you go. And then at the bottom, you see there are some step-by-step drawings to help you get started. So those of you with that worksheet, just go right ahead and get started. Those of you guys that are going to be cutting and pasting, if you take a look, again, just to recap, insects are invertebrates. That means that their skeletons are on the outside of the body instead of the inside. And it's called an exoskeleton. An insect's body is divided into 3 sections: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. They have 2 antennae, 6 legs, and they hatch from eggs. Some insects go through 3 stages of a life cycle, and some go through 4 stages. So the butterfly goes through 4 stages. So go ahead and cut out the pictures on page 2, paste them in the correct order in the life cycle. And then once you guys are finished with your worksheets, you're just going to hold them up so that we can take a look and we can review. So go ahead and take all the time you need to make your illustrations and get your pictures in order. And make sure they're in order, okay? You want to make sure that they're in the right. Wow, some of you guys got really creative with your illustrations. I'm so proud of you guys. And I see those of you who cut and pasted, you guys did a wonderful job putting it in the right order. Good job, everybody. So if you feel confident in the life cycle of the butterfly from egg to caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly, give me a thumbs up in your Zoom go ahead and click the thumbs up so that I can see. If you're not so sure, or you still feel like you're not getting it, or you're just uncomfortable with it, go ahead and put the thumbs down so I can see. And okay, so it seems most of you have a good grasp on the topic, which is great. Okay, so just to review one more time, a butterfly lays an egg, and then that egg hatches into a caterpillar. And that caterpillar eats and eats and eats and eats and eats until it can't eat anymore. And then it wraps itself in a cocoon or chrysalis in order to feel protected and safe while it transforms into a beautiful butterfly. So if that's reflecting in your worksheet, good job, everybody. You are now a butterfly transformation expert. And remember, all beautiful transformations, they take time and they require that we're uncomfortable for a little while. And so never be afraid of being uncomfortable. Um, it may mean that you're being protected and you're going to come out on the other side a completely new and beautiful and free um, little butterfly. So if you gave a thumbs up, great. If not, you can head into our breakout session and we'll review a little bit further. Thanks again for having me, you guys. I had such a good time with you, and I can't wait to teach you again.